5 seconds to catch your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Talladega, where everyone is on the fast track to the front. But can you stay there? And can you get here? 500 miles on the edge of your seat and this seat. Today, the most important race. The next one, Talladega.
The 2005 UAW-Ford 500 was the 28th race of the season, just the third round of the second ever chase for the Cup. Jimmie Johnson and Ryan Newman were hot as they won the first two races of the chase, putting them both into the top three in points. However, with over 150 points being the maximum gained in any given race, it was still anybody's championship. Tony Stewart was the hottest driver in the series as he won 5 races in 7 weeks, just weeks before the chase began. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was the obvious favorite for Talladega, winning 4 straight Talladega races from fall 2001 to spring 2003, and collecting another in the 2004 fall race. Jeff Gordon was the defending Talladega winner, so he was obviously one to watch as well. On the pole was Elliott Sadler, collecting his 3rd pole of the season. Right before the video starts, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe as we're closing in on 50,000 subscribers. Anyways, let's get into the race. The 2 trains of cars going at 200 miles per hour would make it clean for the opening part of the race. Elliott Sadler would maintain the lead to lead lap 1, then Stewart, Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, and Jimmie Johnson would trade the lead back and forth. Jamie McMurray would control the race for a few laps before the first wreck of the day.
They may have some slight cosmetic damage with the crash.
Trouble in turn 1.
Oh, car on its roof.
Michael Waltrip. Mark Martin is in it. One of the championship contenders.
Elliott Sadler, the pole sitter of the 38 car.
Damage.
That's Mark Martin's car right there. I couldn't really tell.
Jimmie Johnson got into the back of one of the early favorites, Elliott Sadler. It didn't take much to turn him around, and around he went. Championship contender Mark Martin and Dale Jr. were involved and out of the race. Michael Waltrip tried to go low and got into Rusty Wallace, preventing him from missing the wreck. Martin tagged Waltrip, and it sent him rolling in a vicious crash. Johnson was collected but survived with little damage. Mike Skinner was knocked out of the race, and Mike Bliss went through the grass to miss the wreck. Mike Bliss would be the first ever driver to race a full 36 races for owner Gene Haas. The year prior, he snatched Gene's first top 10 as an owner at Darlington. Everyone came down pit road, but the strategy was split. Some drivers got 2 tires and some got 4. Kenseth, Stewart, and Busch would lead the field back to green on 2 new tires.
The pole sitter has won only one of the last 19 Talladega races. We can cross that out and make that 20. Because Elliott Sadler was on the pole and he will not win today.
That's an amazing statistic.
Unlike today, when restarts really bunch up the field and make things exciting, restarts kind of wrecked the racing and the field would begin to spread out single file. As a result, Kenseth would lead 7 laps, the longest stretch of the day so far. As soon as the action started picking up again, Johnson blew a tire and brought out the second caution for debris.
Jimmie Johnson slowing down.
The left rear blew out.
Sure did.
Took the fender with it.
Caution is out. Caution is out of Talladega.
He was lucky it blew on the straightaway and not the corner, so he didn't hit the wall. During the pit stops, Bobby Labonte gave Kyle Petty a love tap and sent him around. On the restart, it was Kurt Busch who led the field back to green.
The field is taking the green flag going into turn 1. Under this caution, just about everybody pitted, a variety of strategies. Fuel only 2 tires, some with 4 tires. Kurt Busch in the 97 car leads the race. He did not stop.
Jumping ahead about 15 laps, Jamie McMurray and Tony Stewart had a great battle, swapping the lead about a dozen times in 5 laps, right before the third caution of the day on lap 56.
Trouble here at Talladega. Caution is out.
Mike Bliss is 0. I don't know if he ran in the back. Someone ran in the back or just lost it off turn 2. All of a sudden, around he goes. Maybe the left rear tire blew on the car.
Mike Bliss unfortunately blew a tire in the corner and spun around. Martin Truex Jr. hit the wall behind, and Jeff Green and Yaley would hit Bliss, ending his day. Although it looked like these other cars would be able to continue without much damage, only Jeff Green would rebound to finish inside the top 25. After pit stops, it was Brian Vickers who led the field back to green. Tony Stewart would restart in the back because of some overheating issues. Just 5 laps later, the big one would strike again.
Weekend, it does not have a bearing on this race because NASCAR controls the shocks here, but we expect to see a new rule before we race against trouble. Multi-car wreck in the front of the field.
Oh, and Scott Riggs on his roof.
Oh, Riggs.
Man, there's been a lot of cars getting on their roof lately.
For the second time in the first 65 laps of the race, a car would get upside down. This time, it was Scott Riggs in dramatic fashion. It started when Newman gave a bump to Casey Mears and sent him around. Riggs would hit the wall at a horrible angle.
Hard into the wall.
And it gets worse.
Yes.
Rusty Wallace, who was second in points, and fellow Chase driver Greg Biffle were involved. Rusty would finish the race just a handful of laps down, and Greg Biffle would go behind the wall for a brief time, finishing 18 laps down. Casey Mears, Jeff Gordon, Scott Riggs, and Jeff Burton would all retire from the race. Things did not settle down from here, as just 2 laps after the restart, Kyle Busch had a tire go down.
Caution is out.
Cut the fence a little bit, boys. Just cut the fence a little bit. Inside here.
He will make it to pit lane.
See, the rear tire is flat.
Travis Kvapil did a good job of not getting any damage, but Kyle got into the wall pretty hard. Kevin Harvick led the field back to green, right in front of Matt Kenseth, who seemed like he was the fastest car left in the field that hadn't been involved in any major incident. After a steaming hot Jeff Gordon gave an interview, there was a long conversation about the aggressiveness of drivers at these type of racetracks, conversations that we still have to this day. There were also raindrops around the track, but never enough to cause a yellow or a red flag. Meanwhile, Elliott Sadler rejoined the track as he was trying to get 11th place in points, the highest possible finish for a driver not in the chase. With this, a cash bonus was awarded to the driver 11th in points for essentially being best of the rest. Kenseth would soon take the lead, adding 6 more to his laps led tally. Then Kurt Busch took the lead, and 1 lap later would blow a tire.
Oh, there we go, Kurt Busch.
Tire.
All the tires.
This was the 4th time a driver blew a tire that led to a caution already, not even 100 laps into the race. And for the second one in a row, a Busch brother had a flat. Luckily, he was able to continue with not much damage. On the restart, Ricky Rudd led for the first time of the race, the 17th different leader. On lap 98, Ryan Newman took the lead and would lead 12 laps, the most under green flag conditions to this point in the race. A debris caution came out on lap 109, the 7th caution of the day. Jamie McMurray, easily a top 2 car, would get the lead under caution and held it for 5 laps before Tony Stewart got into the mix. Stewart led until the next debris caution on lap 130 and would maintain the lead as pretty much everyone took 4 tires. Although it seemed like there were a lot of cautions, ever since Kyle Busch's problem 50 or so laps ago, there were no major incidents. Also, it was around this time Kyle Busch retired with an engine failure. Anyways, the top 3 cars all day, Tony Stewart, Jamie McMurray, and Matt Kenseth, were sitting 1, 2, 3. Here, Stewart would lead the longest stretch all day for 29 laps while the top 7 or so cars broke away from the rest of the field. Green flag pit stops were inevitable because of the 54 green flag lap run. McMurray almost got into the back of Stewart, but no harm, no foul. The top 3 came off pit road the same as they entered. After being strung out for a little bit, the field bunched back up with around 15 laps to go, and Jamie McMurray was able to get around Tony Stewart. Stewart had dominated the previous 40 laps, leading 38 of them, and only giving up 2 laps to Carl Edwards under green flag pit stops. However, after McMurray and Newman got around him, Stewart began to fall back.
And Tony Stewart has dropped back to, what is that, 5th position?
Yes, sir.
And a battle with Sterling Marlin for that spot.
With just 4 laps to go, Kenseth was able to get around McMurray.
Murray side by side. Newman behind Kenseth.
Oh. Door to door.
No help.
However, later that same lap,
Ken Schrader is around.
Left rear.
Caution is out.
Left rear tire went flat.
And you know what that means, don't you?
Green, white, checkered.
Exactly
And
right.
boy, that's not what you want here.
Right.
Now's when they start fanning out.
Kenseth got down low. Stewart, Dale Jarrett on the inside line. Newman, McMurray, Carl Edwards.
See, now Newman's got a good run if he can make a move on the 17. But
Last lap.
oh, man.
Here comes Tony Stewart. He's got the lead in turn 1. And
Good
Dale
move.
Jarrett on the outside.
Unit 20, just the two of you. Neck to neck, come on.
Now it just depends on who goes with who.
And how strong that 88 is, we're finally going to find out. Oh, crash! Kyle Petty. Hard crash. We stay green. Now the caution is out. Race is over.
Kyle Petty brought out the caution with a vicious hit on the final lap of the race. Unfortunately, the drivers did not get to race back to the line, but what a wild finish. Dale Jarrett led only the third lap of the race and the last one, and made a great move to get there. Tony Stewart would get a great finish to help him secure the 2005 Nextel Cup Championship, even though he didn't get a win in the final 10 races.
I don't know who they're cheering for right now, 45 or the...
I think Kyle's trying to cross the start-finish line, don't you think?
Yeah, I believe he is.
He wants to finish.
He's going to do it.
There it is. All right.
You go this far, you don't want to be one lap short.
And I think Dale Jarrett stopped to see what Kyle was doing.
Dale Jarrett, at 48 years old, would only race one more full-time season and never win another NASCAR race again. What an incredible race to cap off an amazing career. Anyways guys, that is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. This is probably a little bit of a longer video, but you know, I enjoyed making it. And this race is really amazing. NASCAR's got a full race replay on their channel, so I would highly suggest check that out because this is an amazing race start to finish. Anyways guys, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.